It is now 7 p.m. And I would like to call to order the May 18th, 2021 business meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Aldine Independent School District. Our ethics statement, mission and vision statements, and our board goals will be presented tonight by Ms. Connie Esparza.
Ethics statement. The board has adopted an ethics statement that affirms our commitment to ethical conduct. The statement is, the Board of Trustees is committed to and shall perform its duties ethically and according to our ethical standards. We will model the highest standards of conduct. We will ensure that no personal value system or personal goal interferes with our duty as public servants. The public interest shall be the principle which guides the board in its deliberation and decisions. Vision statement. All Aldine ISD students will receive a dynamic and unparalleled education that guarantees choices and opportunities today and in the future. Mission statement. Aldine ISD will provide a rigorous and enriching educational experience that prepares every student for success in college, career, and life. Board goals. The board's goals as aligned with the district's missions are: goal number 1, the percentage of grade 3 students who score at meets grade level or above on STAR reading shall increase from 30% to 40% by June 2025. Goal 2, the percentage of grade 3 students who score at meets grade level or above on STAR math shall increase from 39% to 49% by June 2025. Goal 3, the percentage of graduates who meet the criteria for college, career, and military readiness, CCMR, shall increase from 59% to 69% by August 2025. Goal 4, the percentage of grade 8 students who score at meets grade level or above on STAR math shall increase from 49% to 65% by June 2025.
Thank you, Mrs. Esparza. We extend a warm welcome to everyone present, and we are pleased that you joined us tonight, as well as those who are viewing online, as we celebrate the achievements, review information, and make policy decisions related to the effective operation of Aldine School District. I would like to thank everyone for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight. And it's nice to have people in the audience. Let the minutes reflect that all board members are present in the boardroom. We now have the approval of the minutes of the previous meetings. Do we have a motion?
Yes, President Shanklin. I move that the minutes of the regular meeting and executive session on April the 20th, the minutes of the board workshop on April the 29th, and the special call meeting on May 10th, 2021 be approved as printed.
Mr. President, I second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mead. Mr. Mead, we'll start the vote with you.
Mead, yes.
Garcia, yes.
Esparza, yes.
Booker, yes.
Avalos, yes.
Bates, yes.
And I vote yes as well. The motion carries. Now we will hear from Dr. Katie Rohde, Chief of Schools.
Good evening, President Shanklin, Dr. Goffney, and members of the board. We are going to start out this evening's spotlight on teaching, leading, and learning, recognizing again our principals of the year for 2021. As many of you know, because you were present with us last month, we recognized our teachers of the year, as well as principals of the year with a drive-through at our M.O. Campbell. Sorry. So you have it ready? Okay. Thank you. All right, so we are in Aldine, as you all know, we are working towards our leadership definition, and the belief is that all of our leaders, regardless of what level they are, that they are connecting, inspiring, and making an impact. And the 3 leaders that we are going to be highlighting this evening, I just want to take a few moments and recognize them. Our secondary principal of the year is Miss Heather Peterson from MacArthur High School. If I can have you come on up. I'm also going to recognize, and unfortunately she could not be here tonight, but it's Miss Shauna Showers, principal of Stevens Elementary, our elementary principal of the year. And finally, our rookie principal of the year, Mrs. Kimberly Doucette from Teague Middle School. All right, there we go. So I would like to start out by recognizing Ms. Shauna Showers. I know she is not here, but hopefully she is listening. Ms. Showers has been in Aldine for 9 years. This is her 4th year serving at Stevens Elementary. And her education philosophy is built on an environment of trust so that the culture of this school is collaborative. And I'm going to just say a few words about her. Ms. Showers exhibits compassion, energy, and an intense focus on student progress. She listens to others, identifies underlying perspectives, and respects all viewpoints. She fosters and encourages these same skills in her students and team members. Although her background was at the secondary level, Ms. Showers has embraced the elementary experience, giving so much of herself to her second family. I'm also happy that Ms. Showers is participating in the first cohort of our Holsworth Leadership Experience for campus leaders, and she continues to find new and creative ways to meet the needs of her staff and students. So I would like to now recognize Ms. Heather Peterson, who is our secondary principal of the year. And Ms. Peterson has been in education for over 30 years. She has served as a teacher, counselor, assistant principal, and a principal here in Aldine at Center for Education, Davis 9th, and now at MacArthur High School. She assumed the role of principal at MacArthur in 2018 and quickly led efforts to turn around the campus. And if I could say a few words about her as well. Ms. Peterson models the qualities of our lead learner. Self-reflection, transparency, deep engagement, and commitment to her staff and students. She was intentional about setting a vision for the campus and putting the Generals back on the map as a beacon school in Aldine. Under her leadership, MacArthur made huge gains in student achievement, culture, and enhancing the students' experience. As the leader of the largest school in Aldine ISD, Ms. Peterson is relentless in the growth of her students, her staff, and herself. She is also part of the Holsworth Leadership Development Cohort and is a continuous learner. And I hope it is okay that I also announce that Ms. Peterson has announced her retirement from Aldine ISD, but we know that she will be continuing to represent us as the secondary principal of the year here in Aldine. So congratulations. And finally, Mrs. Kimberly Doucette. If you hadn't heard already, she was actually a student at Teague Middle School not that long ago, but she has over 10 years in education, spent time in some neighboring districts, but found her way back to Aldine ISD. She is passionate about coaching and developing those she leads, and I have seen it directly. Ms. Doucette took over Teague at the beginning of this year during the pandemic. I can't even imagine that. And immediately hit the ground running. You would never, ever believe she's a first-year principal. She believes that for students to be taken care of academically, we must pour into the staff. Kim has brought in systems for improving teacher practice and is truly in the work. She believes her role is to develop others around here to be the best they can and continue to grow in their roles. And we are so lucky that she chose Aldine ISD and is leading Teague in a new way forward. So congratulations to Ms. Doucette and Ms. Stevens. And
They had a mask.
There we go. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
What's her mother?
All right. Well, good evening, President Shanklin, board members, and Dr. Goffney. We're going to extend our Teaching, Leading, and Learning Award with additional recognitions this evening. I am honored tonight to present our Shabe Campus Teachers of the Year. Shabe stands for the Suburban Houston Association for Bilingual Education. And Shabe is an organization that was created by a former Aldine ISD teacher to promote educational opportunities and recognition for bilingual and ESL teachers. Every year, Shabe recognizes elementary bilingual and ESL teachers, secondary ESL teachers, and teachers of other languages during the month of May. The Shabe Bilingual and ESL Secondary Teachers of the Year are eligible to submit portfolios of their work to TABE, which is the Texas Association of Bilingual Educators, for further recognition and possible state honor. This year's virtual Shabe Teacher of the Year celebration on May 24th marks the 20th year that Shabe has recognized Aldine teachers. So tonight, we are going to recognize each of the winners as I continue the slideshow with pictures of each of our winners, because we have 102 winners this evening. And because of that, they were not able to join us. However, we will recognize them through the continuation of the slideshow. I will not be able to acknowledge each of them by name, but we will see them by their campus. You will also see in the pictures that our multilingual department actually hand-delivered gift bags for each of our Shabe winners, and you'll see many of them with their bags. So I will go ahead and begin scrolling. I will go as fast as I can, but as slow as I must. So to make sure that we recognize each of our winners properly. So to begin, we have our winners from De Santiago, Griggs Primary, Hinojosa Primary, Jones, Keeble, Cajaba Primary, McGrill Primary, and you can see her holding her gift bag, Stovall Primary, Vardaman, Vines, Goodman, Worsham, and those are excited students celebrating for their teacher. Love that picture. Anderson, Carmichael Elementary continued, Carter, Ermel, Gray, Houston, Cajava, Stellick, Wilson, Black, Plessy Elementary, Carroll Elementary, Eckert, Escamilla, Hill, Johnson. You can see they're joined by our executive director, Grace Delgado, presenting the bag. Odom Elementary, Olson with their proud principal, Orange Grove, Stevens, and there are amazing things happening at Thompson, as you can see in this picture. I love that picture as well. Calvert, Conley, Cypresswood, Dunn, Greenspoint Elementary, Jones Elementary, Marcella, Ogden, Parker, Raymond Elementary, Spence Elementary, Aldine Middle, Hamburg Middle, Hoffman, Jones, Plummer Middle, Shotwell Middle, Teague Middle. You can see our rookie teacher of the year, our principal of the year there, celebrating with them. Aldine 9, Lansing CTE onto our high schools, and that is Davis 9, Davis High School, Eisenhower High School, and last but not least, Nimitz High School. So that was 102 winners that we just got to increase. It is quite an honor to be able to celebrate them and just to acknowledge that we are so blessed to have such talent teaching our students here in Aldine ISD. So thank you everyone for joining me in celebrating our teachers, and President Shanklin, board members. That concludes our Teaching, Leading, and Learning awards for this evening.
Thank you. And congratulations to everyone. We will now have the recognition of our staff, students, and patrons. I'm asking Ms. Shalia Reed, Chief Communications Officer, to come forward, please.
Good evening, Mr. Shanklin, Dr. Goffney, members of the board. I am excited to be here and excited to see all of you in the audience. It is good when we have an audience in person, right? You can feel the excitement and all those things. I do not have 102 people to recognize like Dr. Davis. I do have quite a few though. I would like to start off by celebrating the employees who have reached the milestones of 30, 35, and 40 years of service here in Aldine ISD. I think you should clap right there. So over the years, we have celebrated in a variety of different ways. I think Mike Keeney in my office has told me there have been a celebration where we did 2 nights of congratulating those who are either retiring or being honored. And then I believe my very first year, we had 1 night. And then unfortunately, the second year, it stormed, much like the weather is today, and we ended up canceling it. And then last year was COVID. But this year, we said, oh no, we're gonna figure out a way to honor those who have really tenured here in Aldine. So we will do just that. As you can see on this slide, maybe. All right. On this slide, we are seeing the smiling faces of those who are celebrating 30 years in Aldine. We did acknowledge them and we told them to watch. And so if they're watching, hello and congratulations on your 30 years. There are 2 slides here. Thank you. And then one more for those who we didn't quite get pictures of. Some of those are very familiar faces. All right. Here in person, we have the smiling faces of those who are celebrating 35 and 40 years. I'd like to acknowledge them, ask them to come up front. The board members, if you'd like, you're welcome to come down and take a picture with those. I think they would love your presence here. Of course, we'll need to social distance, but I think we got that under control. We have about 7 to 10 here. We will bring each one of them up. I'll read a little bit about them, and then we have a certificate, and Mr. Keeney will take their picture.
Okay. Board, if you want to come down.
All right. I think we've practiced our smiles under our masks. We know how to do this. All right. So again, thank you all for being here. And once we have them, you can clap, yell, cheer for them. I'm sure they will appreciate it. I want to make sure Mr. Bernal is not here. We didn't see him. Okay. Mr. Francisco Bernal, who was not able to join us, he served as a custodian and he has reached 35 years. Miss Pamela Bergay, come on down. Miss Bergay, you're gonna come right here. We're gonna get you in the middle. Come on. That works. Ms. Bergay started her career with Aldine ISD at Orange Grove Elementary School as a substitute teacher and later became an aide in special education. She moved on to cash management, where she currently holds the position of bookkeeper. She was also a secretary for 16 years. Thank you for your service, Pam. Ms. Bergay, we want to see your certificate. Hold your certificate up so we can get a picture with that. All right. What, I'm sorry. Do you have any guests with you? Okay, come on down, Miss Morrow. Her current boss, come on down. For a while. All right, y'all smile. The board is, hold your certificate. Miss Bergay, you got to hold your certificate up. And then board members, we can still see you, so you keep smiling. You're looking at Mike. Okay. Ms. Higgins, you're up next. Ms. Wanda Higgins. Ms. Higgins spent her first 3 years as a business educational instructor at ACE and Nimitz High School. For the past 32 years, she has served as a business education instructor at Mack High School, where she has had perfect attendance for 29 years. She was the Teacher of the Year twice in 1999 and in 2017. Thank you so much for your service. Now, do you have any guests? All right, come on down, Mr. Higgins. Well, you got to get in the picture. You see the orange? I see it. Okay, you're smiling. They can see you. Board members. All right. Miss Denise Keaton. Miss Keaton started in the district as a home economics teacher at Nimitz High School, where she taught 7 years before transitioning into a counselor position at Nimitz. After 7 years there, there's a theme, she transferred to Eisenhower High School as an educational service manager. She then took the role from Eisenhower to become the lead counselor at Mack High School, where she currently holds the position, and now she currently holds the position of student financial aid, coordinator of student financial aid. Thank you, Ms. Keaton, for your service. Oh, I think you had a cheering section. Come on down. Come on, Dr. Davis. Okay, can you see Dr. Booker?
Yes. If she moved, yeah, perfect. All right.
Cheese, that's right.
Thank you.
All right. George Molina. George began in Aldine ISD as a glazier and carpenter. He is currently a technician in the maintenance department. His favorite moment while working for Aldine is making sure the schools are safe and secure before and after school hours. He says the main thing is to make sure that all students and employees are safe. Thank you for that, and thank you for your service. All right, you already got him? Come on down. I think this is her award. Okay. I want to make sure that we're acknowledging everyone I have on the list for 35 years. Is Melissa Raymond here? Okay, come on down, Miss Raymond. Miss Raymond began as a teacher in Aldine for 35 years. She started at Hoffman Middle School and was there 16 years. I'm not sure how that math works because she looks not a day older than 16 herself. She then found her home campus at Wilson Intermediate, where she currently teaches. Thank you, Melissa, for your service. Do you have any guests? All right, well, smile big. We are all here. We're all your guests.
Ready? So just wait, please. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right. I have a few names in the 45-year category. 45. 40 says 45. Okay, 40. I just read what's on the paper. Just read what's on the paper. Okay. Allison Haymaker. Okay. Well, let's give her a hand clap. And Miss Linda Hamlin. I don't think she was able to make it. I know who is here, Mr. Franklin Higgins. Mr. Higgins. Come on, Mr. Higgins. Mr. Higgins began his teaching career at Aldine Senior High School as an ag, science, and technology teacher. He served as a president of the Area 3 Agricultural Science Teacher Association for 2 years. He was named the Director of Vocational Education, which later became CTE. During his time with Aldine, he has been named the Gulf Coast Career and Technical Administrator of the Year, as well as being president of the C&T Administrators of Texas. Of course, he has also helped us open new schools and grow the CTE programs in Aldine ISD. Thank you for your 40 years of service in Aldine. All right, you have any guests? All right, y'all small business. I wonder which one's gonna get framed. Board members, those are all of those that we're acknowledging. You may take your seat. I want to make sure that I read this correctly. Thank you all for your service, whether it's 5 years, 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. We need each other to serve our 67,000 students and their families. Aldine ISD is truly grateful that you, those who are celebrating tonight, are here, and we are so blessed to have so many dedicated people who care so deeply about the children and the jobs they perform every single day. There is a certificate for you. If you do not have your pen, we have some extras for you. And then in the hallway, there's a backdrop. You can take as many pictures and selfies as you want. Thank you so much, and congratulations again. All right. Mr. Shanklin, the month of May had a lot to celebrate. On Friday, May 7th, we celebrated School Lunch Hero Day at all 82 of our campuses. And those of you in the audience, you may be wondering, what is a school lunch hero? A school lunch hero is a school nutrition employee that not only prepares healthy meals for students, but they do so adhering to strict nutrition standards. They've navigated food allergies, adapted to the COVID-19 protocols, developed curbside meal ways of delivering food. They prepared weekend meal bundles, and I think they became like marketers of food. They've done it all this year. And so on May 7th, we honored each one of them for their superhero tactics. We celebrated at the campuses, and then we even honored our cafe workers right here in this building. So if there are any school lunch staff watching, please know you are truly heroes. And although we've celebrated you then, we thank you for the work you do every single day. Uh-oh, see, I wasn't doing my job. There it is. We also, this month, celebrated National Police Week. That week started off with a visit from Delta, our new K-9 officer, who visited my office. And if you've ever been doing your work and a dog shows up, changes your week. The Police Week is set aside to pay special recognition to law enforcement officers who've lost their lives in the line of duty for the safety and protection of others. Here in Aldine, our chief, Mr. Paul Cordova, is proud of the individuals that make up the Aldine ISD Police Department, which operates 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and early in the mornings, especially when there's threat of inclement weather like tomorrow. That team has 40 sworn personnel and 9 civilian employees. And is the dog sworn? So 51? Oh, gotcha. No budgetary context. Okay. It is also worth noting that 13 of the officers are Aldine ISD alumni. So although we celebrated you May 9th through 15th, I want to give a special thank you to all of the officers who keep us all very safe. The month of May is also set aside for Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And in this building and our other administration building, we had a special visit from the students from Chave and Carmichael who came to help us understand and display the cultural gifts of the communities who make up the AAPI group. It was a fantastic few hours. Oh, I skipped. A fantastic few hours, and I will tell you, they looked amazing, and they showed little ones this big could recite where they were from and give you details about the countries that they were representing. It was a fantastic day. I also, you'll see up here, want to say that there is a special day that someone created. The national organization said school communicators also need to be celebrated. So on May 14th, the communications department was celebrated. You'll see there, it's a national day of celebrating those who help tell the stories of the district. So I want to acknowledge my team there. I'll get to staff recognitions now. The monthly employee recognitions begin with Mr. Milo Ortiz, who is Executive Director of Buildings and Properties. Come on down, Milo.
Should be like the Price is Right.
I need music.
Right, you need some music. Okay, great. All right, good evening, President Shanklin, Dr. Goffney, members of the board, and all in attendance. It is my pleasure to be with you this evening to recognize our Building of the Month for May. At this time, I would like to introduce Teresa Jefferson, head custodian of Odom Elementary School, and principal Delilah St. Julian. And they are actually here, so our first time we have somebody present. It is. For 54 years, Odom has been a pillar of the community. And researching how old the school was, I share something in common because we were both in 1967. So I am the exact same age as Odom. So I will forever remember that. So Odom and myself have a special link there. But spanning over 5 decades of making a difference at Odom and helping in this endeavor is our custodial staff, headed up by Teresa Jefferson and her team. Together, working closely with the administration, our team is providing a safe, a disinfected, and conducive environment for our young students to grow and to learn. So Teresa Jefferson has worked as a custodian in Alden for 16 years, with 8 years being a head custodian. So we want to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Jefferson, her staff, and Principal St. Julian for their leadership, because I know it can happen without you guys working together. So on behalf of Buildings and Properties, it is my pleasure to present Odom Elementary, the Building of the Month Award for May 2021. Congratulations on a job well done. And you can see the plaque over there. Is that presented? So congratulations to you guys.
Our Executive Director of Transportation will recognize the Employee of the Month.
Good evening, President Shanklin, Dr. Goffney, board members. Transportation transports all our students in Alden. However, we also transport students that don't attend Alden, that attend the surrounding school districts. Drivers, they go to these areas without knowing the layout for these schools, and not every driver wants to do that. We have a dedicated group, what we call our stakeholders, that are specifically handling our McKinney-Vento students. And with that, I would like to bring up Ashadre McGee Paul. Do you have any family members? Oh, they could come up too.
Order.
She goes out to these school districts and she represents the district very well. She's been here 5 months. And we have gotten nothing but compliments for the surrounding school districts. She's representing us in a she's taking our values to them, building our relationship stronger with the surrounding school districts. So on behalf of transportation, I would like to present to you with this plaque.
What a team, what a team.
Thank you, Herman. I also want to bring up Ms. Stacy Smith, Director of Special Programs, to present the month's grants.
Good evening, President Shanklin, board members, Dr. Goffney, administrative leadership, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to celebrate some of our awardees this evening here and also in our virtual audience. Beginning with Escamilla Elementary, we have Principal Susan Rehan and Valeria Gomez, Aaliyah Saavedra, Morgan Delaney, Fatimata Lamb, and Dr. Monica Lois. And I know they're watching from home and listening. Valeria Gomez, she's the counselor over at Escamilla. And you might remember last month when they announced about the Disney books, that Disney surprised the students at Escamilla with over 1,300 brand new Disney reading books. Good Morning America weekend even featured the students when they received their books, highlighting the importance of reading and storytelling in a child's life. And the funder was Disney, and this was $10,852. And Elisa Saavedra, she serves as the FACE liaison at Escamilla. In continuing to strengthen their community partnerships and support families in the Escamilla community, she received a donation of $300 from Bob Beasley at Beasley Tires to help families who were without water after the winter storm. So we want to congratulate her for her efforts. Morgan Delaney is helping students feel good physically and gain a deeper understanding of all people of various backgrounds. She received new exercise equipment for her students' recess to enhance their play and exercise, and making reading meaningful and engaging sparks a student's interest. She received books about the uniqueness and diversity of the world that it has to offer students and give them a deeper understanding of all culture, places, and people. And she was funded by Donors Choose for $590. Fatimata Lamb is providing classroom materials for safety, fun, and learning. She received dividers, flexible seating, charts, and dry erase markers that provide students with privacy, safety, and a fun way to interact and respond during class and in small group instruction. It was funded by Donors Choose, and it is $745. Dr. Monica Loas is the instructional literacy specialist at Escamilla, and she's also the Donors Choose advocate for her campus. Over this spring semester, she had over 30 projects funded and received everything from flexible seating to graphic novels, virtual materials, and makerspace supplies for her library. She had a total of $5,153. And now this evening, at this time, if Gerald Chattel, the principal of Knipple Education Center, and Eric Torres, principal of Ermel Elementary, if they would please come forward. Come on down. And joining us, we have Candace Houston, who is the president of the ALDINE chapter of the American Federation of Teachers. So First Books is a nonprofit social enterprise committed to elevating educational opportunities for children in need. They believe that educators should have access to all the resources they need to help children succeed, including books, school supplies, and other essentials. And AFT believes that as well. This is the first time that AFT has offered grants for our schools to help with books. And so Ms. Houston and her AFT teachers have provided a $500 gift certificate for First Books awarded to Ermel Elementary. And then a $250 gift certificate to Mr. Chattel in his campus over at Knipple for their books. We want to thank you and hope that this is the first of many collaborations for grants. Is there anything that you would like to share?
Well, first of all, I would love to have the members to come up and be in this picture because it is through their duties as well that we can do that. Because I represent them, so I can have them to come up in the picture.
Okay. Can we do that
Sure.
safely?
Yeah.
But it is
Okay.
just an honor to be able to give this to these two principals. And First Book is not just books, but it's resources. It's electronic. It is school supply. It is what do you call it? The needs, so pads, toothbrushes. We've done backpacks, so we're excited to be able to offer this to these two kids. Okay, for everybody. And then we have to make a few different rows.
Wow. There's a short person back here.
Okay.
Something was up. Something was up.
No. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. No. Come on back. Somebody should come up here.
Get mine to just a second.
Thank you. And tonight's total for this evening is $18,390.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Shanklin, tonight has been an evening of celebrations, and it's not over just yet. March 6th was a day of celebration that day. We celebrated our Teachers of the Year at a Teacher of the Year event. I think it was Boots and Bling. If I remember, Katie, you were dressed to kill. Dr. Davis, I will never forget that outfit. It was a beautiful night, a beautiful afternoon. But it was our last day of normalcy before the COVID-19 pandemic disrupted our lives, both at work and at home. However, our teachers and staff have worked tirelessly to ensure that learning continued throughout the pandemic. Whether it was from their dining room table, the classroom, the office building, I think I saw some folks doing some work outside in the courtyard of their schools. Our teachers and staff made it happen for our students. With just a few days left in the school year, I think about 6 teachers. Do y'all know how many? 6. I knew somebody knew. I want to make sure you hear me say it on behalf of the entire executive leadership team. Thank you for your work. Our board. Our board has a few thoughts they'd like to share. Mr. Shanklin and board members, I'll turn it over to you for our final recognition of the evening.
Thank you, Ms. Reed. Last year has been challenging in so many ways, but our employees never wavered. They came through for our students, parents, and the community. And we as a board are proud that we can show you just how much we value you and the work you have done. On behalf of the board, I'm happy to announce that all ALDINE ISD employees will receive a one-time bonus of $1,500 for exempt staff and $1,000 for non-exempt employees.
We can't thank you all enough.
There's still some claps happening. People are still happy. I'm sorry.
Got it?
We're good.
Okay. We can't thank all of you enough for the long hours, the innovative ideas you came up with to continue educating, feeding, transporting, and supporting our students. This bonus is well-deserved by all of our devoted staff members.
Every time we asked questions, you had the answers. You all were innovative and creative in your approach to online learning. And we couldn't have gotten through this pandemic without all of you working together as a team.
As a former student and employee, former teacher, I know how very hard that job is in a normal year. And this last year, year and a half, it's just been a tremendous task to keep going. And we do appreciate everything that you did. As far as I'm concerned, you were our first responders for our children. And we appreciate that. And you got a little mad money, do something mad with it.
Thank you, Ms. Avalos. I bragged to my colleagues across the country and across the state about Aldine and the Aldine community. It's truly a special place with so many special people in it, and the dedication and the support of our staff and the dedication you show to our students and to their parents, the community is just amazing. It's something to talk about and to celebrate. So I too want to thank you for all that you do and for all that you did, particularly this past year. Thank you.
As the newest member to the board, I have been impressed with the work ethics displayed by our teachers, child nutrition staff, custodians, operational personnel, and our support staff. You put our kids first. These bonuses are our way of saying we appreciate you, and we are so fortunate that you have chosen Aldine.
Yes.
Well, I've been in Aldine most of my life. I'm always amazed at the can-do spirit that exists. We faced many challenges when the pandemic began, but our wonderful staff was up to meeting those challenges and seeing to it that our students continue to learn. I'm glad we could say thank you with a boost.
Finally, I'd like to say on behalf of the board, guys, we have business meetings and we have very, very tough discussions, but there is never a minute that we are not concerned, and our concern never wavers for our student and for you, our staff, our most important asset. And as Mr. Bates always puts it, you don't get paid enough. So we are very, very happy that we can do a little something to show our appreciation. And let's give you a standing ovation.
Mr. Shanklin, I can't top that, so I'm going to take my seat. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, it's already been a good night. However, we have to continue business. We will now move to the consent agenda. The board has had the consent agenda items in our possession for study, and we discussed them at length last night in our study session. Ms. Loera, did we receive any in-person comment forms from members of the public to address any consent agenda items to be voted on by the board?
No, sir, we did not.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion regarding the consent agenda items?
Mr. Shanklin, I move that items C1 to C3, D1AB and D2A to D2B, F1 through F11 and J1 on the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Thank you, Ms. Avalos. Ms. Avalos, we'll begin the vote with you.
Avalos, yes.
Ms. Bates?
Bates, yes.
Booker, yes.
Esparza, yes.
Garcia, yes.
Me, yes.
And I vote yes as well. The motion carries. Do I hear a motion regarding the executive session agenda items? I think you're on page 8, Mr. Mead.
I'll do it.
No.
I move that the board approve the non-renewal of term contract for Angela Bryant, teacher, Teague Middle School, at the end of the contract term and authorize the superintendent to issue notice of final non-renewal as discussed in executive session.
Thank you, Mr. Bates. Do I have a second?
Esparza seconds.
Okay, Mr. Mead, we'll begin the vote with you.
Mead, yes.
Garcia, yes.
Esparza, yes.
Booker, yes.
Avalos, yes.
Bates, yes.
And I vote yes as well. The motion carries. Another motion?
I move that the board approve the proposed termination of term contract for Anthony Hood, teacher at Lane Center, for good cause due to abandonment of contract, and authorize the superintendent to issue notice of proposed termination as discussed in executive session.
Thank you, Ms. Avalos. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Dr. Booker. Ms. Avalos, we'll again begin the vote with you.
Avalos, yes.
Mr. Bates?
Bates, yes.
Booker, yes.
Esparza, yes.
Garcia, yes.
Mead, yes.
And I vote yes as well. Motion carries. Is there another motion?
Yes, item K 3C. I move that the board approve the proposed termination of term contract for Alvaro Gonzalez, Assistant Director of Maintenance at the Bamberg Resource and Development Building, render a finding that good cause exists to terminate the contract, and authorize the superintendent to issue notice of proposed termination as discussed in executive session.
Mr. President, I second the motion.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia, and thank you, Mr. Mead, for your second. Mr. Mead, we'll start with you.
Mead, yes.
Garcia, yes.
Esparza, yes.
Booker, yes.
Avalos, yes.
Bates, yes.
And I vote yes as well. Motion carries. Another motion?
Motion for item K3D. I move that the board approve the proposed termination of term contract for Jaime Ballesteros, teacher at Hamburg Middle School. Render a finding that good cause exists to terminate his contract, and authorize the superintendent to issue notice of proposed termination as discussed in executive session.
Thank you, Dr. Booker. Is there a second?
Garcia seconds.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia. We'll begin to vote again with Ms. Avalos.
Avalos, yes.
Mr. Bates?
Bates, yes.
Booker, yes.
Esparza, yes.
Garcia, yes.
Mead, yes.
And I vote yes as well. The motion carries. Dr. Goffney, do you have any new staff recognitions for this month?
Mr. Shanklin Board of Trustees, we have three amazing leaders to welcome to ALDINE ISD tonight. We're going to begin with Ms. Kathleen Avery. She will be coming to us from Senior Director of Human Resources at McKesson Pharmaceutical Solutions and Services to Executive Director of Talent Acquisition for the Aldine Independent School District. She has 24 years of experience in the human resources industry. Mrs. Avery is excited about the role of Executive Director of Talent Acquisition because it is focused on the staffing needs of our schools. Our teachers are the key to the success of the students, and our students are the future. Dr. Javier Villarreal, our Chief Human Resources Officer, is excited about Kathleen Avery joining the HR team. She brings with her a wealth of knowledge in all areas of human resources. He is confident Ms. Avery will be able to implement effective and efficient systems needed to take the HR department to the next level. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Kathleen Avery to ALDINE ISD.
President Shanklin, Dr. Goffney, board members, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. It's a true honor to be here amongst this district and to be representing the HR function today. I'd like to recognize Dr. Villarreal, my executive director peers, Dr. Robin Williams, Dr. Bradley, have been wonderful onboarding me. I'm excited about the future and the potential to really look and find wonderful teachers for our students because they are the leaders of our future.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tonight, I have my wonderful husband of 28 years that has followed me along the career path from state to state, literally, and we've been here together for 14 years now. So this is Stephen Avery, my husband.
Thank you. Neither one of you look like you're 28.
Everybody look this way, please. 1, 2, and 3. And 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to Aldine.
Next, we'll have Mr. Juan Toscano Garza from Assistant Principal at Keeble to Principal at De Santiago. Mr. Toscano is humble and honored to join the De Santiago team as a new principal. He is so excited to start working with the team and the community to make a difference in the lives of our youngest students, setting them up for success in college, career, and life. Mr. Toscano is an advocate for equity and inclusion for our students. He knows that together as a team, the administration, teachers, staff, community, his team will continue improving the district's literacy programs and operations to reach a goal of having every student ready for first grade. Mrs. Rodriguez, our school assistant superintendent, she stated that Mr. Toscano truly leads with heart and sets high expectations to ensure our youngest learners have the best start to support their learning. He is a great fit for De Santiago, and we are very grateful for his leadership. Please join me in congratulating Mr. Toscano.
Thank you. Thank you, President Shanklin, Dr. Goffney, members of the board, community leadership. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's really an honor to be the principal at De Santiago. It's really exciting to serve the community and to serve Aldine again. It's a privilege for me to be here with you. I have like 15 minutes, Paige, of Dr. Vieira gave me just 2 minutes. I just want to tell you that I cannot wait to work with the amazing team that I have at De Santiago. I'm already working with them twice a week, and I cannot wait to show you the great things that we're going to do at De Santiago. Just go, give me 2 months and go and visit us. I want to take a moment to just recognize that I cannot be here without the support of my family. My wife of 24 years, is 24, right? I think she's a kindergarten teacher, and the reason that I'm an educator is because of my wife. And so she's the one. She's the one that inspires me to be a better educator, a better leader. I also have with me is my wife, Patty, and my son, Pablo, is one of my youngest son. My other two are watching online. My family from Mexico is also watching from online. You know, I have to say that again, I'm doing what I'm doing because of my family, especially my mom and my dad that taught me to do everything that I do with hard work, dedication, and with quality. So thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you.
So proud of you.
Thank you.
He got that right, 24 years?
1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, Ms. Angela Singletary, from Program Manager for Specialized Nursing and Homebound Services in the Fort Bend Independent School District to Director of Health Services in the Aldine Independent School District. She has 24 years of service in the field of nursing. Ms. Singletary is pleased to be returning to Aldine ISD, where she can give back to those who gave so much to her and her family. She is excited to have this opportunity to provide support to the nurses, the staff, and the community so that she can support students and being successful in their educational goals. Dr. Charlotte Davis, Assistant Superintendent of Student Support Services, values the wealth of experience Mrs. Singletary brings to the position. She is well respected by our colleagues throughout the state of Texas and will be an impactful leader for the Health Services Department in the district. Welcome back, Ms. Angela Singletary.
Good evening, President Shanklin, Dr. Goffney, members of the board, members of the community. I am over ecstatic to be returning to such an awesome school district. I am looking forward to being of service to the students here, the staff, and the community to ensure that our students are successful in their educational goals. Thank you again for the welcome back. I have with me today my husband, Mr. Shannon Singletary.
It's tradition, it's tradition.
Dr. Davis will join you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Shanklin, Board of Trustees, that concludes our announcements for tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Goffney. Mrs. Esparza, do we have any board board committee reports and or updates?
President Shanklin, we do not have any committee reports at this time.
Thank you, Mrs. Sparta. Ms. Loera, did we receive any comment forms from members of the public?
Yes, sir, we did receive some that are present tonight.
Okay, before that, then I have been instructed by our attorney that I need to read all of this. This is the portion of the board meeting where the board receives input from patrons. The posting of this meeting included a link from members of the public to provide written comments. Those comments will be read by Ms. Loera, board secretary, and will be limited to 3 minutes per board policy when there are large numbers of individuals making to speak to the board. The presiding officer may make adjustments to the public comment procedures. Therefore, Ms. Loera will read some of the written comments. However, we don't have any written comments tonight. Well, let me finish reading this. Each person who's present in the boardroom and wishes to address the board will also have 3 minutes to speak. There's a clock on the back of the wall, so you will know when your 3 minutes are almost up. Because of topic posting requirements of the Open Meetings Act, board members will not answer any questions posed to the board by patrons, and no action can be taken on any issue presented during this time. If you wish to ask questions of the board, you may submit them in writing, addressed to the superintendent's office, and the board may consider them at a subsequent meeting. If you are an employee or employee's representative, please be advised that the grievance policy deadlines are not waived. If you have any documents to pass out to the board, please identify those documents. Finally, please be aware that the rules of decorum will be enforced during the public comment period. Please refrain from making comments directed at any specific individual employees or students by name to avoid any potential breach of confidentiality. If you have complaints regarding specific individuals, please provide those in writings addressed to the superintendent for her attention. Each participant is legally responsible for the content and consequences of his or her own statements. And Ms. Loera, who do we have?
First, we have Mr. Juan and Mirela Macias.
You can come forward, please.
Good evening. I'm sorry to be here this evening in this situation with a lot of celebrations that we're having here tonight, but I want to bring up a situation that occurred, and it's administrations have contacted us, but I feel that I need to let the board members know of the situation. My son is a varsity baseball player and happened on a baseball game against 2 high schools, MacArthur and Davis. 2 injuries occurred back to back that should have not occurred, that should have never happened. It just, I feel that the staff, professional staff that were there at that evening didn't make forward to correct the situation the first time the incident happened, the injury happened. The second injury was unfortunately my son. We have medical bills. He had to have surgery. He had an ACL torn. The first student that got injured, he has a concussion. And I feel that they failed all 3 students, including that first student that injured them because he was not corrected for the play that he did. I just want to bring it to your attention as board members. It is being handled by administration, and I appreciate their help that they're trying to make changes. They have promised changes, and I hope that these changes do occur. We want that we can have better staff, I guess, coaches that are more responsible with the sport itself, maybe get trained more with the umpires as well, knowing the game. Because like I said, they failed that one student from not letting him know what he did wrong at the moment that 2 injuries back to back occurred. that night. You don't have anything to say? Okay, thank you for your time. But like I said, I hope that there is changes in the baseball organization.
Thank you for your comments. Ms. Laura?
Yes, next we have Miss Melissa Baines.
Good evening. My name is Melissa Baines, and I'm a counselor secretary. I'm also a member of Aldine AFT Teachers Federation. I am here today because I am coming to ask for support members as well as the staff to be addressed on the economic status that we are in right now, and has not changed. Our pay has not changed since 2019. And I would like to say thank you very much for your commitment to our educators and our support staff. This year, many school boards across the state did not provide any raises. The state didn't provide any pay raises, but Aldine ISD and the board was unique and one of being the only ones to provide to educators and staff. We are grateful for the 1.5 raise of your dedication and our well-being, but we would not like you to stop there. The staff ended up not seeing a big difference in their paycheck with the 1.5 raise. It looked like about $5 to $10. That is hardly not enough on lasting impact. I've been working for Aldine since 2001, and I love my job, and I need to make a decent living for my family. In this economy, everything is going up significantly, and my paycheck is not increasing. I am here today to tell you the urgency of needing us to do more. We are advocating for a 3% raise next school year for all teachers and support staff. A counselor secretary makes about $26,000 a year. A minimum of 3% raise would make a difference of $795. My salary is $26,413. I would only make $792.40 a year. This amount would make a difference if we have the 3% increase. We'll be able to make more better ends meet for our families. This past year has been extremely difficult, challenging in many ways. On top of everything, on the pandemic, the cost of living in Houston has dramatically changed. The raise is important. Again, I need to be able to provide for my family. I would like to see no less than a 3% increase all across the board. Thank you for your time and commitment to our community. Educators, please support our 3% minimum pay raise. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Ms. Laura?
We also have Ms. Chiquita Sanders and Ms. Candace Houston on the same subject, pay raise.
Ms. Houston, will you be joining her in this comment? But you're all speaking on the same topic. Yes, please.
Good evening. My name is Chiquita Sanders, and I am a master teacher at Stovall Middle School and a proud member of the Aldine American Federation of Teachers. I'm here today because I would like to speak with you about what a pay raise for teachers and support staff would mean to my peers and me. I want to first thank you for the 1.5% raise from this school year, because Aldine ISD School Board was one of the only boards to provide raises to educators and staff. But we cannot stop there. That was only the beginning, because there is still room for improvement. To be honest, if I didn't know that the board had given the 1.5% raise, I had never been able to tell from my checks, because I did not see it at all. There's an urgency in our need to do more. Teachers and staff have gone above and beyond this year to support our students. We are advocating for a minimum of 3% pay raise for the next school year for all teachers and support staff in the district. I'm currently making less than the average teacher in Aldine, which is $61,000 a year. I'm at $60,175. A 3% raise for me would mean a $1,805.25 difference in my gross pay, which is $150.44 a month before taxes. I have a growing family that I must provide for. That $1,805.25 would make a difference in my household. That much more each month would allow for me to feel more secure with welcoming my new addition to my family in November of 2021. This past year has been extremely challenging in many ways. On top of everything that has happened with the pandemic, the cost of living in Houston has drastically increased. With this raise, it will help ease the burden on my family. Thank you for your time and commitment to our community educators. Please support a minimum 3% raise.
Thank you. And Ms. Houston.
Good evening, President Shanklin, Dr. Goffney, members of the board. I stand before you tonight. I watched your budget workshop before this meeting. So the adjustments were made because Dr. Alfred Stevens and her staff did present you with some percentages that was within the budget. And that 3% is within the budget. What I do want to charge to you though, they didn't recommend to you, you don't have to give everybody across the board the same percentage. I'm asking that you do 3% to teachers, instructional support, and paraprofessionals. Perhaps do 1.5% for administrators, and you will still be within your budget. But I can tell you that the 1.5, let's not look at that. Let's look at 3%. We want you to be charge agents. We appreciate what you did this year, but after deductions, people didn't see it in their check. And lastly, I want to thank you for the $1,500 COVID bonus and the $1,000 bonus that you guys just announced tonight. We all know that everybody has worked hard during this pandemic, and we appreciate you. So board, I ask that at your next budget workshop that you look at 3% for teachers, support staff, instructional support, a lower percentage for administrators, and you will still be within your budget and perhaps even do a retention bonus. We're not for the retention bonus because it doesn't go towards your TRS retirement. A lot of people may not be at this district next school year, so they will want their money now, not later. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Houston. Do we have any other speakers, Ms. Laura?
No, sir, we do not.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Shanklin?
Yes,
I have
Mr. Bates.
unreadiness.
Yes.
Everyone has worth. And from time to time, unfortunately, we take people for granted. And we take people for granted, and no one should ever be taken for granted and until we need them. And there's a category of people who historically, I believe we have taken for granted, but I believe this last year has shown how important those people are, and that's our nurses. And from May 6th to May 12th of this year was Nurses Week 2021. And so I want to thank the nurses across the country. They are, in fact, our first line workers. Some of them, in fact, gave their lives for others. Rather than stay at home, they went to work. And some of them did not come home. But if I bring it closer to home, I want to thank the nurses of ALDINE ISD. I want to thank them for the work that they have done during this past year and that they've done in the past. I just want to thank them. With that, I move adjournment.
Thank you, Mr. Bates. And I second your comments.
And I second the motion.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
We stand adjourned at 8:14 p.m.